Amaka from Mind of Makus. As usual, have you subscribed to our channel? It's really helpful when you subscribe, and thank you for all the people that reached out to me and told me when they see me that they subscribe. I really appreciate it. So please subscribe now. Yes, subscribe. Yes, you subscribe. Thank you. Anyway, so today I thought we'll just talk about something that affects all of us, something that is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, something that we need more and more every single day. Guess what it is? Social media. And it is the bane of every parent's existence, especially if you have children that are coming up to their teenage years. They start to ask you for phones, they start to ask you for access to your phone, they start to use your computer in ways that you may not even know that they are using them. Please excuse the background noise. I'm doing this video outside, so you hear birds, you hear children playing. The weather is really lovely today, so please bear with me. But it's so nice, I don't want to do an indoor video. Yeah, so social media is just one of those things that is here to stay. I remember growing up and not even having access to a personal computer until I finished high school. And I remember I had to go for like a 6-week tutorial to learn how to use MS Word and Excel. And these are things now that people just have on their phones. It's unbelievable. I did go to a primary school that had access to computers, but it was the old computers that used to be in freezing rooms, and we all gather around this one single computer and we watch the cursor blinking, pam, 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 pam. And literally our exam was having to draw a computer. Why does somebody need to know how to draw a computer, really? Seriously, you know why they did that to children? So it wasn't really part of my life growing up, social media, and maybe some of you watching right now too is, wasn't part of your life growing up, but it is the reality of the life of our children. And I remember working in an environment where phones had to be taken away from some young people, and one of them actually made a case for it, and they won and got their phones back. And she said to us that, look, you guys can live without phones, you can do so many things without phones because that's the world you were born into, but taking our phones from us is literally like cutting off our hands. We don't know what to do without it. We are helpless without it. We can't order food. We can't buy stuff. We can't. And I was just looking at this young woman, talk about what her phone means to her. And it just hits me that, instead of avoiding exposing our children to social media, there has to be other ways that we ourselves can manage social media and then teach it to the younger generation so that it's used in a healthier way. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. I'm by no means telling you what to do or how to do it. I'm only sharing my opinion. So at the moment, we have apps coming out every day. Somebody somewhere probably watching this is working on an app that does something, and these apps are going to run on our phones. You now have meditation apps. You now have apps that can do your project for you. You have apps that do research. You have apps that you can use to exercise, your personal training, nutrition. Every industry you're thinking about has an app. Even GP services have apps now, and NHS services have apps now. Hospitals have apps now. So you're not going anywhere. This social world is here to stay. So how does it impact our mental health, and why should we care about it? Now, one of the very obvious ways is that we're on our phone for unlimited amounts of time. Just because we do so much on our phone. You open your phone to maybe order breakfast, and then next thing you know, you check on Instagram, you check on this, you check on that, and by the time you raise your head up again, it's 2 hours gone, and you've lost valuable time. Sometimes, in the course of doing this, you don't even keep track of what you're spending on these apps. You're playing games, you're just clicking on this lovely shiny coin, and that coin is actually real money that's linked to your bank account, which you gave them when you signed up to the app. You order food, and you really can eat food worth £5 and be satisfied, but then they tell you, oh, add this for 50p, add that for £1, add that for 25p, and you're just clicking, boom, boom, boom. It feels like it's not money, and you're going and you're just doing that, and so sooner or later you find that you start to overspend. And let's not even talk about the shopping apps. They are so perfect that they tell you how many of each item is left and how many people have bought it in the last hour. And some of them will add additional pressure and tell you you can only have it in your basket for 30 minutes. You can only have it in your basket for 1 hour. All these are marketing gimmicks, and they work. That is why they're using them. And so before you know, you're finding yourself in a financial quandary thanks to the use of social media. It doesn't help that some of our influencers are not exactly honest that they're getting paid to advertise stuff. Some are, and I really, really like that they are. And so they wear these beautiful clothes and they push this lifestyle. And it's really not sustainable for the everyday person like you and I. We don't go shopping and come back with like 7 bags of clothes, all brand new and all with somewhere to wear them to. I was, with a friend earlier today, and she was saying how, we buy a lot of clothes and really don't have as much social activity as we had before we had kids, and it's true. And so sometimes you have to just ask yourself, why am I buying stuff? Am I buying just in case? And I do that, but I do it once a year. So I kind of look into, okay, what's my plans for the year? Am I planning to go to parties? Is there any weddings coming up, any family events? And I kind of buy most things together in the beginning of the year, so that I don't panic buy. And that's my way of also limiting what I spend online, because going to the shops these days is quite a almost an impossible task for me with younger children. So things like that, why are you buying what you're buying, and why are you clicking on this app? Why are you spending money on your game? One thing that you can do now is just delete your cards from these apps. Delete all your cards, so that next time you want to buy something, you actually have to get a card and put in the number. And if you are somebody like me in the past, I had my 16-digit number crammed in my head, so I just put it in wherever, any website, anywhere. Get a new card, cut off the one don't cram this one, because you and I know that cramming is something that we do actively. We look at it, we say it, we memorize it, we code it in our heads. Don't just do it for this new card, okay? Get a new card so that it's not that easy for you to spend. So that is one thing, because if your finances are in trouble, guess what? Your mental health follows next. It's one of the main factors that leads to poor mental health, financial troubles. And so, leaving financial troubles aside, there's something else. How you feel in yourself when you're scrolling on these social media platforms. What feeling does it bring up, inside you? Some of the more familiar ones may be, disgust. You're totally disgusted by something you've seen. Sadness, totally, punched in the gut by something that you've seen. Somebody's going through something bad, or some terrible image has just been uploaded, or something is happening on the other side of the world that is quite distressing. Happiness, joy, these are emotions that are real. Surprise, you see somebody do something you never expected. Could be a friend, could be somebody that you don't even know, but you feel like you know them because you see them on social media all the time. Disappointment, all those emotions, envy, jealousy. We feel a mixture of all of them while we live our social media lives out, and they do have real life effects on the way we negotiate our life in real time. So assuming I've scrolled on social media today, and all I'm seeing is party posts, being that it's a public holiday, or bank holiday, depending on where you're in the world. I'm looking at party posts, oh, it's so nice, I like these styles, oh, this, I like what they're wearing, it's inspiring me, it's making me happy, it's making me wish that I could go to a party. And then before you know, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing in this dump? Oh God, I feel so horrible being here, and life is such a mess. See how quickly that escalated from one thought to the next. And that is one thing that we have to be mindful of when we interact with social media platforms. Keep track of what you're thinking. Keep track of the people that you're following. Keep track of the content that you absorb. If you look at the content you absorb, you can probably kind of break them down into about 5 main themes or topics. So someone like me, gardening is one of my biggest content consumption online. Fashion is another one. Mental health is another one. So look at what kind of content are you consuming online. Then look at how it makes you feel. If you feel like the content you're consuming quickly takes you down a dark rabbit hole that leaves you feeling unsatisfied with your life, then I would advise that you stop it, and stop it quickly. Don't maybe mute them. I'm talking about unfollowing, deleting, and blocking. Thankfully, these things are not things that send a notification to the people, and this applies to even your family. If there's somebody that you're following online, and in real life you're quite a horrible person, them, they are your family, and it can be quite triggering to see them being generous online, or to see them being nice to people online. Unfollow them, because all we owe each other in this world is love and respect. And for you to continue to respect people, as much as possible, you want your heart to be free of any burdens, because the way you feel is not their responsibility, it is your responsibility. And that's where taking responsibility for your mental health comes into play. You have to have that power, and use that power to control what comes into your mind, comes into your atmosphere, comes into your consciousness, because your thoughts matter. Your thoughts create your reality. If you're walking around with thoughts of envy, jealousy, unforgiveness, and all these negative emotions, soon enough you start to see in your daily life the effect of these things, and you start to see dissatisfaction, you start to get really annoyed, and people perhaps will actually start to respond to that energy that you're putting out, and then they betray you more, they disappoint you more, they make you angry more, and it's just this, rapid cycle of negativity, and it almost looks as if nothing is working out for you, but it starts in your thoughts. And one of the things that controls our thoughts is what we absorb. So what are you listening to, what are you watching on social media, mind that. The things you even call comedy, are they really funny? Are they really funny? Are they really funny? Or are they social issues that actually need to be addressed? And maybe triggering for you, because maybe you've been caught in those kind of situations sometimes and it wasn't pleasant, but somebody has made it into a joke and everybody's laughing. Unfollow them. Simple. Unfollow them. So other ways that social media can affect your mental health. I've talked about how it can affect your finances. I've talked about how the content that you're consuming can affect your thoughts. And so let's talk about how it can be a force for good. Social media has done so many good things. We would not be here learning about social justice, learning about activism, Black Lives Matter, learning about the climate, if not for social media. It is an amazing tool for good, and I've met amazing people through social media, people that I've not actually met in real life, but we have a lot in common, and we encourage each other, inspire each other, push each other to do more. So those are the kind of things that I think that social media are good for, or social media is good for. Bear with me. So if you find people that inspire you, people that are in your field, people that you learn from, people that you feel like you can relate to their content in positive ways, people that push you to get out of your comfort zone and get out of the fear bubble that you have built around you to defend yourself, people that push you to live your highest, most beautiful, most acceptable, most lovely self, follow them. Follow them. It may not be a reality now, but that is where you want to be. So follow them, because it is valid for us to consume the kind of content that creates beautiful thoughts and creates beautiful emotions in our hearts, because just like the negative ones will become a reality, the good ones will also become a reality. Before you know, you go and people are smiling at you, people are favoring you. And I read this really good book recently called The Game of Life and How to Play It. I read it in my book club, and one of the things that they talk about is how when you have positive thoughts and you even speak those positive thoughts into the universe or into the atmosphere, that it generates an energy that comes back to you. So if you're consuming content on social media that is inspiring, that is positive, that is loving, that is aspirational, that gives you positive energy, take that. Make an affirmation for yourself. In my own case, I'll say maybe I'm consuming a gardening content. I'll say, oh my God, this garden is so beautiful. Oh, when I get some money, this is what I'm going to do here, this is what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and just build this nice beautiful dream around what you have seen. It can be a job for you. You've seen somebody that's doing the job that you like. Instead of envying them, instead of thinking that, oh my God, how did they get that job, and doing all that negative stuff, just appreciate the fact that, oh my God, somebody actually is living the life I want to live, and that means I can live it. So when I get there, this is what I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do. Make your dreams as big as you want to be. Make it detailed. Know the color of the walls of the house you want to live in. Know how it smells. Know how big you want the rooms to look. Know what flower vases on the table. I encourage you to just visualize this whole thing and build this beautiful positive dream in your head. And if you have words that can back it up, say it to yourself, preferably in front of a mirror, because then you're looking at yourself. It kind of has this effect of almost like sinking into your soul when you look at yourself and say, I'm enough, I'm beautiful and powerful, I deserve a beautiful life, I'm valuable, I bring my contributions, and my contributions are valued by the company I work for. People look at me and they favor me. I am strong. I bring a great asset to any organization that I join. You know how you say these things, and the more you say them, the more you believe them, and when you believe them, your reality starts to become it. So that is one very beautiful thing about social media, because there's no barrier to anybody that is on there. You can see their life, you can visualize it, you can even listen to them talk, you can listen to them share their life experiences, and some of them honestly share how they got there, and also learn from it and make some changes to your life to get there too. And social media has that kind of positive effect on mental health. But as I say, you need to create it for yourself. It's all in your hand. What you do with it is what matters. It is there for everybody, and everybody will use it. And I believe that the more good content that is consumed, the more good content will be made. So contribute to that positive force that supports good, clean, positive, inspiring, aspirational content. You know, anything that is not in line with your values, that makes you feel some type of way inside you, that makes you question who you are, or makes you want to hide before you look at it, think twice about consuming that content. Think twice about consuming that content. And I will encourage you to keep track of how you feel when you spend time on your phone for 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours. And if it is possible, keep your phone away for a few hours in the day. Assuming you are not working in any emergency job that you need to be in touch with 24/7, keep your phone away, or even get another phone that doesn't have internet and spend time away from your phone. Go for a walk without your phone. And the real dangers really of being stuck to our phone, you know, you see it every time. People are on their phone walking and they walk into a tree. They're on their phone and they are driving and they have an accident. You know, on their phone, their child is walking into the road, they don't know because they're head down looking at the phone. And you really miss connecting one-on-one with the people around you. If you're at dinner with people and you're on your phone scrolling and looking at strangers that you don't even know in real life, while there are people around you bidding for your time, like your family, your children, your friends, you know, it keeps a barrier. And some people have advised that when you are going to dinner or when you're having dinner, phones should not be put on the table. You should put them in your bags or in your purses, because it fosters more intimacy when you don't have that object between you. Speaking of phones, one thing that I've done in my own relationship is just to make sure that when we're both not busy and relaxing, that relaxation doesn't involve a phone. So if we're sitting down, we sit down, we watch TV. We're not on our phones while we're watching TV. It is hard, I'll tell you, it is hard, because sometimes I see, you know, looking at my phone and catching up on social media as a way to relax. So I'm learning to do differently now, and that's why I'm sharing with you. That we should try not to look at our phones as a way to relax. Let's find other ways to relax. Let's do other things outside our phones. In that way, we are creating and fostering a more positive atmosphere around ourselves. We are connecting in a more wholesome way and authentically with the people around us, and that is really important. Because at the end of the day, nobody's giving an award for the most use of phone. Nobody's giving an award for who used data the most. Nobody's giving an award for how many posts you liked on or how many posts you commented on. Those things don't matter. So, you know, that fear of missing out on stuff, what you should not miss out on is the life that's going on around you. And if you feel like you don't have anything going around you, that is the more reason why you should get off the phone. Because you need to engage more with your surroundings. Look at what's going on around town. You know, meet your neighbors, take a walk, you know, see what's going on in your neighborhood and see what's going on in your family, and catch up with friends. And, you know, in our generation, we're living all over the world. We have people that call themselves digital nomads. They literally work and live all over the world, move from one country to the other. So people are getting more and more disconnected. And it's not to say that social media is responsible for it. I think it's just human behavior and how we are evolving in these times. What work looks like is changing. And so there's more reason for you to take out time and, you know, catch up with people and know where they are and reduce the isolation and loneliness around you. It's not to say that being alone is not good. I like to be alone. I spend a lot of time alone, and that's why I'm able to kind of consolidate these thoughts and express them like this. Solitude is one of the ways that I refill my energy and I come up with stuff creatively. So yeah, solitude is good, but when you start to get into that negativity of loneliness and, oh God, I'm all alone, I want to be with people, nobody loves me, nobody cares about me, then you have to do something about it, because you're getting into a negative place, and nothing good comes out of there. Yeah, kick yourself out of it, get out, do something, pick up a hobby, you know, learn how to do something. If you never used to cook before, learn how to cook. Never used to bake, learn how to bake. Never used to do photography, learn how to do it. Video editing, learn it. Learn something that you do with your hands, because that's sensory stimulation. Learn gardening. Actually, that's why I garden, because it's something that it never gets done. There's always something more to do in the garden, and the sensory stimulation of your hands in the soil, and, you know, the water and the sounds, and just, you know, being outdoors, it helps my mental health. So figure out what works for you, what can take you out of social media, out of your phone for a while. Let social media not be like your hands. Your hands are still here, so you don't need something that's like them. Let it be something that makes your life better. Let it be a force for good. Let it be something that accentuates your gifts and talents. Let it be something that is a means to an end rather than an end in itself. And let us be mindful of what the thoughts in our hearts are as we engage on these apps. Let us keep ourselves safe. Let's keep the young people safe. Don't help young people get on the internet if they're not up to 18. Let it be their parents' decision. Try not to solicit, sexual favors online in return for, people do so funny things. Let's be safe. Let us be safe. And if there's somebody who is being unsafe, talk to them, report them, do whatever you need to do, because it's our collective responsibility to make sure that social media, AI doesn't get out of hand. We are the ones that are using it. We are the ones that will be responsible for where it goes in the coming years. So let's be mindful. Thank you very much for listening again. Subscribe. I'll try and do more videos, and if there's anything that you want me to talk about or share my ideas about, let me know. Yeah, some great books that I've been reading recently. I mentioned one, The Game of Life and How to Play It. I've also been reading Harry's book, Spare. Oh God, this is so interesting. It's so interesting to see how he has grown up and his particular challenges. We often think that people like that don't have everyday life challenges, but well, Harry has sort of that, he's human too, and it's just lovely to see that. So I'm still reading his book, and there's this book I bought about outdoor activities that you can do with children. It's called I Love Dirt, D-I-R-T, I Love Dirt. It's quite a good book. Lots of activities you can do outdoors as an adult, and if you have children, you can do outdoors as, with your children, or as children together. So yeah, those are the things that I'm reading now. Podcasts, my podcast is still there. You can get the audio versions of this video on the podcast, and I would appreciate if you give it a follow, if you share it. I know that not everybody has time to watch, so I make the effort to put the audio out as well. There are lots and lots of good podcasts out there for mental health, for inspiration, for parenting. If there's something that you want to learn, just give it a search. You will find something. And if you want specific recommendations, I often try to recommend them. If you go to my blog, mindofmakus.com, you will see some recommendations for books, podcasts, and things on there. Yeah, take care of yourself, and thank you for listening to me ramble on and on and on and on. And it's lovely to always talk to you guys. Thank you for listening. Bye.